Hey y'all, and good morning. Happy Friday. I am doing one thing that I have been putting off for a while because of my mental health, which is cleaning. I got my music going. One of my neighbors came down. I actually was very vulnerable with her, and don't mind this, that's yogurt. It must be yogurt or something, Holmes. But I was vulnerable, told her about my mental health, and told her what one thing I wanted to do is, and that's clean my house. Not just because my homegirl is coming in town to visit me next week, but I'm a clean person. I'm not the most organized, but I'm a very clean person, very sanitary, and I've been down in a funk lately, and I haven't been able to do the things that I normally do. And because I was vulnerable with someone, I got some assistance. So I'm happy. I feel so much better since I did confide in someone vulnerably, and that's a risk. It's a risk when you're vulnerable with people. But you remain authentic, you remain true to you, because you never know what people are willing to do for you. And I know we hear it all the time, or like people will try to make it seem like, try to minimize it. But two things can be true at the same time. I am sad. I have depressive episodes. My feelings are hurt. I miss the fuck out of my Bijou. I miss my mom. I miss my baba. I miss my baby brother. All of these things and these emotions are valid. And I have been almost in this, it's like fight or flight, and I've been in this almost like a fawning period, because it's like I know what I need to do, but those emotions get extremely heavy, and when you don't have anyone to process that with in a healthy manner, your body kind of shuts down, and at least that's what mine has done and was doing. But because I have dealt with so much trauma over the years, I can sense it when it's happening. So I've been implementing the steps and using my words, and it's been beneficial. So even though I've had to, in this season of my life, put on my big girl panties and be my own closure, and let myself process without the presence of outside validation or outside reasoning, like it's all been on me. And honestly, as difficult and as heavy as that's been, it's also been beautiful. So I'm very thankful that I've gotten to the point where I can process without reverting back to old ways, to old comforts, and hurting myself further. So I just encourage you. I can't encourage all of y'all. I encourage myself, show up authentically. Be who you are. And not only that, but allow people to see you as who you are. Don't be ashamed of whatever you got going on. Don't let your experiences dictate how present you are, how much you give. Let discernment do that for you. Don't let fear, don't let previous experiences, don't let the words of others, the fears of others, the experiences of others dictate how you show up or how you feel, or switch up just because you think that's what everyone else wants you to do. No, I'm processing my feelings. I'm hurt. I'm not going to live in that. I'm not going to sully in that. I'm not going to build a home in that. But I'm processing because my feelings are valid. And even though, again, we have these rights and all this stuff, our personal Bill of Rights, there's consequences to that. And I keep that in mind as well. And I know there's a consequence for sitting in my feelings too long, for not being able to look in the mirror and face myself and say, hey, I did everything God asked me to do, God told me to do, I've trusted in God. And, like I said, being my own closure in this season of my life and going before God, God told me to let it be. The situation that triggered me, God told me to let it be. And the situation with my mom, the situation with my siblings, the situation with cousins, situation with friends that I've gone through over the years. This isn't stuff that just has recently happened. These are old wounds that have festered and have not been addressed. And when I was triggered by my Bijou, it all began to unravel. And so the weight of that and going before God in prayer, and when he told me let that go, let them situations go, and I really had to forgive. Like I had to profess it out of my mouth. And now when I think of my mom, I can say I pray instead of crying. When I think of my siblings, I do cry, but I'm able to come back to center and pray and remember the good times we've shared and know that that's not the end of my family. This season right now is just about me. I would never respectfully just say forget people that I love and care for just because my feelings are hurt. There's a lot of tension that has been there. So having to address that on my own and not seek closure, apologies, and all that other stuff, even though, yeah, I feel like in the very least I deserve that from certain experiences that I've gone through. I gotta forgive and apologize to myself because I tolerated a lot, because I let so much go on, and now as an adult I have to be accountable. I have to recognize what I did and not focus on what was done to me, not to invalidate that or minimize my feelings, but because progress. Do you really want to sit in your feelings and sulk and cry and be sad forever? Is that really what you want for yourself? And I don't. That's not even who I am. Like, I wake up happy. I wake up like, who can I bless today? Who can I give to today? Or how can I show up better? You know, and then looking in the mirror, like I'm looking at myself right now, and I am a beautiful woman, a deserving woman, a worthy woman. And though imperfect, I am still all of the wonderful things that God has designed me to be, and there's so much more to come, even still. So I know some of y'all be like, oh, she be yapping, but many of y'all know and have been blessed by the wisdom of the experiences that I've been able to share with y'all comfortably and openly without shifting blame to other people, because I think that's one thing in society, especially within Black and brown communities. Well, you did this, so I did that. No, what I did was wrong, and I should not have behaved that way. What you did hurt me. It impacted me. Yes, it did lead to these behaviors. However, I want to get to the point where I'm so mature and I am so spiritually connected and in alignment with God and my calling that He has for me, that even when things occur, I don't look to the left, look to the right, or look behind me. But I stay on that straight and narrow path, focused, because I know that the attacks of the enemy cannot win. And I know when I am the attack, because it's not always the devil. Oftentimes it is. So having to be mature enough to face that and admit that without shame, that cripples me. That's been beautiful. So I'm thankful, I'm happy, and I'm at ease. Every day is not roses and champagne, but every day has been lighter. It's been better, and that's because I have been able to give myself the closure that I need instead of looking for that outside validation and sitting around hopeful and praying for someone else to change and give me something that I can give myself, that God has instructed me to give myself as I let things be and move forward. And whatever's meant to be will be.
You drank it all? Good job, mama.
Anyways, I love y'all. Happy Friday.
Let me show y'all my bathroom. I know my curtains are wrinkled, but we did a little bit of cleaning. It's light work. Corner to corner, cleaning toilets. She cute. Look at that booty though.